Hi, my name is Brendan Ferrier, and I purchased in the Mariposa community in the Towns collection. For me, this was my first home that I ever purchased, and I really didn't know what to expect as far as the entire process. But when I walked in, and everybody I met with from the team was super helpful. Gail was super helpful. She immediately told me to, get on the list, go get pre-qualified, so I did that. I mean, there were a few things I had to do with the lender, which was recommended by new home companies, so that made it easy. Overall, it was just pretty seamless, and there wasn't a lot of involvement on my end. So I would say the things that most attracted me to Mariposa in the community was really the location where this community is. It's such a good location for anyone like me who loves food. There's restaurants all over the place. Haven't made a trip to all of them yet, but I'm working on it. And also, just paying attention to what's around as far as what's good for home value. There's great schools here. Chandler's one of the lowest, or one of the cities with the lowest crime rates in the US. And really, I've lived in Chandler several times before, and I just knew I already loved it. And this location was just, you couldn't have asked for a better one in my opinion. So that's why I was most interested. Well, I'd say the first one that comes to mind is design, as I knew as soon as I walked into the model when I first looked at it, this was exactly what I was looking for. There's plenty of townhomes that you can find in the Phoenix area, but not a lot of them include everything that I was personally looking for. So, like I mentioned, the backyard, it's pretty hard to find a townhome that includes any sort of backyard, or one that will give you the option of, say, a third bedroom, or if you want that loft. So for my plan specifically, that is really what stood out to me, was how they designed it. Well, when I toured the community, it wasn't quite, there wasn't a lot here yet, but once I entered into the contract and I started visiting, I could start seeing some of the things that were described to me after I did tour the community. And I really love what they did with the pool area in the front. You kind of had a graphic when I did buy the house, or decide to buy the house, and you can kind of get a decent idea of what it's gonna be. But once I saw it, I was like, oh wow, that looks really nice. And then the rest of the community started to come together, and then you started to see the little parks go in, and then you saw some of the houses get done on the first streets, and it started to really come together. And that's when I sort of knew I made the right decision. Being able to work from home, specifically in this new house, has been great. In the past, I've been moving through different apartments, and so you might not necessarily have as much space depending on where you're at. So being able to have that office that's separate from the rest of my home life has been great. Just being able to have a room where I can go in, focus, get work done has been huge, especially coming from having one room where everything's happening. And also just being able to know that it's my office is just a nice feature. Favorite things to do in my home, number one for me is cook. I'm a huge food lover, and I'm no Michelin star chef, but I could get around in the kitchen. Another thing about me is I just love DIY projects, which I've had a lot of since moving in. So that's been a big thing for me, is just doing different things around the house, painting some walls that I wanted different colors. So it just kind of learning how to be a homeowner really is what's been happening for me.